It's placement season. You know the energy. WhatsApp groups going off at midnight. Someone just got shortlisted. Someone just got placed. Someone just cleared the Google round. And picture yourself sitting in this energy right now. 4 years of college, hours of DSA, and an internship at a college with logo people recognize. And a LinkedIn that looks exactly like the 200 other LinkedIns the recruiter opened this morning. And a job offer, if you're lucky, somewhere between 4 and 8 lakhs a year. Now, zoom out. Imagine what 20 lakhs looks like, 40 lakhs, and 60 lakhs. Imagine what would it look like to get placed before you even graduate at the number most of your seniors haven't touched yet in their third year of working. That numbers exist. People at your age are hitting it right now. And then there's you, refreshing your email, waiting for the placement cell to call your name. Hope this year the system works out in your favor. You did everything right. You went to every class, or at least most of them. You ground DSA on lead code until your eyes went blurry. You joined the coding club. You built the projects your senior said would look good on your resume. You applied to every portal. You prepared answers to tell me about yourself in front of the mirror. And somewhere in back of your mind is a number you want to hit. Maybe it's the salary that finally lets your parents breathe. Maybe it's the one that lets you stop calculating before every purchase. Maybe it's the number that finally makes 4 years of work feel like it was worth something. And you look around at the people hitting numbers like that. The ones who have cracked it, who got Google return offer, who got placed at a startup paying twice what anyone expected. And you try to understand what they have that you don't. He's from IIT. That's why. She had a referral from her dad's contact. That's why. They got lucky, that's all. Because the alternative, that they did something you haven't figured out yet, that's a harder thought to sit with. So slowly, quietly, you start building the ceiling around yourself. Non-target university, middle class family, no connections in tech. Maybe this is just how high it goes for people like me. That ceiling is in the industries. You made it, and understand why. I built the same one. But what if I told you the ceiling isn't real? What if the game you have been playing, the credentials, portals, placement cell, isn't the only game? What if there is a completely different way in? Nobody in your college told about, because most of them never found it either. I'm not going to tell you it's easy, because it's not. The road is longer, messier, and there's going to be stretches where you have no idea if any of it is working. And let me be honest, a lot of people who start down this road don't finish it. Not because they can't, because you go back to safer game the moment it gets uncomfortable. Finish it. At the end of the road is the number, the one you actually wanted, not the one the placement cell handed you. Are you still with me? Then let's not waste any more time. Here's the game you have been playing. I want to name it clearly so you can see for what it is. It's called the credential game. The rules are simple. You accumulate markers, degree, CGPA, internship brand, college name, and you present them to the companies who use those markers to sort applications. The better your markers, the better your chances. And here's the thing, the credential game works. I'm not going to tell you that it doesn't. It's a real path that produces real jobs, but it has something baked into it from the start, a ceiling. Because in the credential game, you're competing on things you largely cannot change. You cannot go back and attend IIT. You can't manufacture a big tech internship from nowhere in your second year if you didn't know to chase it then. You cannot catch up to the 4 years of accumulated brand equity by grinding harder in your final semester. If you started with the right pieces, the right college, right city, right network, the credential game is worth playing. The doors opens easier. If you didn't, you're playing the rigged version of the same game. You're trying to out-credential the people who started with a credential you'll never have. I went to Bennett University, not IIT, not NIT. Not the name that makes any recruiter in the city sit up straighter. A university that, if I'm completely being honest with you, most people in the industry have never heard of. By the rules of the credential game, I'd already lost. But here's what nobody tells you. There's another game. First year of college, I was doing Python. Nothing exciting, nothing that would impress anyone. Second semester, we had a hackathon. I built a gamification system for college. You earn points for showing up to classes, answering questions in lectures, returning lost items to the lost and found. You redeem them for free canteen food, college merch, or discount codes. The idea was simple. What if going to college felt like leveling up a game? We came fifth. Prizes only went to top 3. I lost to a friend who knew Flutter and I didn't know Flutter. So I went and learned Flutter, YouTube and projects until it worked. That was a method always have been and still is. I joined an unpaid internship just to force myself to build faster. Then got a 25k INR freelance project. Bug fixes on someone else's half-built project. The problem was they needed React and Django. I only knew Flutter. So I pulled in my friend Dipanshu, paid him 5k and kept 15k and didn't tell him the split. I'm not proud of it, but I was 20 and trying to figure out how money worked. But that is genuinely how I learned React. Not from any course, from doing actual work under actual pressure and figuring it out mid-panic. 2 months in, I was burned out, the money wasn't worth it. I stopped, but I had React now. Around this time, I started building Apertures, a Twitter scheduling tool, just because I wanted something real to work on, something I could actually show someone. A roommate referred me to another internship. This time it's 25k per month. Looks decent, but my routine was college in the mornings and basketball in the evenings. I wasn't giving that up for anything. Their meetings kept clashing and I didn't skip basketball. They fired me. Fair. But right then, Dipanshu found someone on LinkedIn, a guy named Noah from abroad, background in circus performance, building a platform called viaPrize. We pitched him $2,000 to build the whole thing. But he said no, he just wanted small features for small money. We said fine. 5 months, maybe $500 total. Then Noah came to India. We booked an Airbnb in Delhi. Shipped it tons of stuff in 3 days. He loved it. He invited us to Thailand. Paid for everything. Flights, visa, even the bribe to get my passport done in 3 days. Because I didn't have one. We landed in Chiang Mai broke, skipping meals to stretch our money, but we were there. Blockchain conferences, people making real money, the whole world operating by the rules nobody had told us existed. Zanzibar next, then Thailand again following year. Few college students from Bennett University going around the world while our classmates did mock interview preps. Final year, I was in Bangkok again, because by now that was something that happened in my life, and a friend named Sandro made an introduction. Legion, an early stage crypto startup, small team, no brand name anyone outside the industry would recognize. They needed a founding engineer. The interview process lasted from 15 to 20 days. I was in the Bangkok whole time. One other candidate in the final round, someone with an internal edge, a connection I didn't have. I didn't get the job immediately. I got a trial, 1 month of working in almost in complete silence, telling almost nobody what was happening, just showing what I could without anyone asking me to prove it. On the 1st of next month, I asked my founder directly, did I get the job? He said yes, 70k a year. First time I would ever seen a number like that attached to my name. Not from the placement cell, not from the DSA grind, not from the resume that looked like everyone else. From a MacBook my mom bought me, 4 years of building things until someone noticed. Now let me tell you what I actually think happened. Because when I look back at it, it wasn't luck, it wasn't connection, at least not at first. It was a completely different game, played by different rules, and you can learn the rules. First rule, building things people can see and use, not portfolio projects, not I made a to-do app to learn React. Real things. Things you actually wanted to exist. Things with real code, real users, real decision. Things that tell someone who looks at them that this person can actually build. Apertures was a real product. viaPrize platform was real. Gamification system at the hackathon, even that was a real idea trying to solve the real problem. And here is what that does for you. When you walk into a conversation with nothing but credentials, you're asking someone to trust a proxy. Trust your GPA means you can think. Trust your college names means you know what you're doing. Trust the marker. When you walk with the shipped work, real code, live products, things that existed in a world, you're not asking them to trust a proxy. You're showing them the thing directly. I don't have an IIT degree, but I had a year of public work anyone could open in a browser. That is different kind of credential, and it's the one you can build from anywhere. You don't need the right college for this. You need the discipline to keep building when nobody's watching you. But okay, so I just build projects, that's the secret. Build some apps and 70k appears. No, that's not what I'm saying. The work alone isn't enough. Here's the second rule: say yes to weird opportunities. Noah was a circus performer. A 3-day Airbnb sprint in Delhi, Thailand on zero savings, Zanzibar, Bangkok for blockchain event while I was technically still enrolled in college. None of those look like career moves. Every single one of them compound onto next. The 70k job offer came through a connection I made at a blockchain event. I only got to that event because of viaPrize. I only got viaPrize because of LinkedIn message Dipanshu sent on a random Tuesday afternoon. I was only available for that because I stopped going to the internship that clashed with my basketball routine. You cannot plan that chain. It looks obvious in reverse, but completely invisible going forward. What you can do is stay open, stay available, say yes to the thing that doesn't make sense on resume yet. Because the things that compound aren't usually the things that look safe. Third rule, and this is the most important one: show every single thing you build to everyone. On Twitter, at Hatchery, at every event I went to. Not because I was confident, I wasn't always. Because showing your work is the only way to be findable by the people who matter. Legion didn't find me through a job portal. They found me through a person who knew what I had built and thought to make an introduction. The introduction only happened because I made my work visible enough to someone to remember it. Your work has to exist somewhere people can see it before the right person can notice it. Keeping it local, keeping it on your laptop, in your college drive, in a private repo, that's building in dark. It doesn't compound, it just sits there. Now go back to that image. Placement season, WhatsApp groups going off, someone just got placed, and you refreshing your email, waiting for the placement cell to call your name. The ceiling in the other game is set by how long you're willing to keep building. And here's exactly what took me the longest to understand. The 70k was never really the point. Never calculating before purchase. Never feeling like your ceiling was lower than everyone else's just because of where you started. That was never about the money. It was about the proof that where you begin doesn't decide where you end up. Some of you are going to keep playing the credential game. Maybe you have to right now, that's fine. But some of you already know the ceiling is artificial. You just didn't have enough proof that getting through it was possible. This is your proof. Stop waiting for the placement cell and start building something today and show every single piece of it. That's the equation. That's all it ever was. If you want to know exactly how I structured my public work to get noticed, the specific things I built, how I showed them, and what actually converted into real opportunities, that's what next video is about. If this video gets good enough reach and if I hit 1k likes, I'm saying you hit